Sorry, I had to take a smoke break. I need the stimulants this time of night. Let's see here. All right, on to 6. There's a way to make 6 easier, and it's right here. Now, this won't make sense to everybody, and you can still do it with this number that's given. But this is a cleaned up radical. It used to be negative 2 over root 21. That's what I'm going to use. All right, so alpha has a sine ratio of negative 3/5, and it exists between 180 and 270 degrees. It is a quadrant 3 angle, which means it rotates into quadrant 3 and dies. And there's alpha prime. Sine ratio being opposite over hypotenuse, missing leg being 4. Beta lies between 90 and 180 degrees, so it is a quadrant 2 angle, rotates into quadrant 2, dies in quadrant 2. Put beta prime right there in the corner, and the tangent ratio is opposite over adjacent. So opposite is a 2, adjacent is the negative 21 because of direction. And if you do Pythagorean theorem, I feel quite confident that you get a 5. You know, you can check me on that. 2 squared plus root 21 squared is c squared. You should get a 5. If you use these ugly numbers up here, you get something way bigger, something harder to clean up. Think about what it used to be before you did what you were supposed to about cleaning things up. Anyways, you're supposed to do this. You go to your little piece of paper over here. You find that. Looks just like it, different letters. But it is supposed to be the cosine of alpha, cosine of beta, minus the sine of alpha, sine of beta. You just plug crap in. That's why I drew the triangles, by the way. So if I'm over here, the cosine ratio, and I almost made a sign mistake, is negative 4/5. Once I'm over here, the cosine ratio is negative root 21 over 5. Minus because there's a minus. The sine of alpha is given. You can't screw that one up. Negative 3/5. I guess you could screw it up. Somebody will. Sine of beta, 2/5. Now I got a negative times a negative. She's going to be positive. Negative times a negative, also positive. That's 4 root 21 over 25 plus 6 over 25. And that should be enough. That's choice B. All right, write the trig expression as an algebraic expression containing u and v. So I'm going to draw these. Believe it or not, this is arctangent. This means an angle whose tangent ratio is equal to u, technically over 1. The same thing there, v over 1. So we'll just put u right there, the tangent ratio. We'll call this angle A. I don't know what I'm doing. The tangent ratio is opposite over adjacent. You do a little Pythagorean theorem, and you get that c is the square root of 1 plus u squared. When you draw the triangle for the other angle, which I'll just call B, it's going to look the same. It's just B and 1, and you're going to get the square root of v squared plus 1. You could change those around. Forgive me, I'm very tired. We did this one before you took the test. I didn't change this problem at all. I really didn't. So it shouldn't be too hard to do. We have the sine of something plus something. Sine of something plus something. It's right there. Sine of A, cosine A, plus cosine A. I said sine of A, cosine B, plus cosine A, sine B. So that's what I'm looking at. All right. I don't know how much work you're doing on paper, but I graded your test. They sucked. The best one I saw was 10 out of 12. Most of them are 3 or 4 out of 12. All right, so over here, the sine of this thing would be u over the root of 1 plus u squared times the cosine of the other one, which would be 1 over the root of 1 plus v squared. Plus, because there's a plus in the formula. I'm sorry you can't see everything. I'm at the cosine of the first one, 1 over the root of 1 plus u squared, times the sine of the second one, v over the square root of 1 plus v squared. So these fractions have common denominators. It's just u plus v over the same thing, which looks like that one. It does, just saying. All right, number 8, you're supposed to find the tangent of 2 theta. Formula. Use the formula. But before I can do that, I have to know the tangent ratio, don't I? The easiest way to figure this out is just to draw. The angle lies between 270 and 360, so it's somewhere in quadrant 4. Put theta prime in the corner, opposite over hypotenuse, missing leg is 3. It's a 3, 4, 5. Nobody's trying to trick you. And the reason I did that is because in order to use that formula for the tangent of 2t, I have to know the tangent ratio, and the tangent ratio is negative 4 over 3. So now I can use my little formula, the tangent of twice t. According to my little sheet, it is 2 tangents of t, negative 4/3, sitting pretty over 1 minus tangent squared of t. So 1 minus a negative 4/3 squared. And I just cranked that math out. That's going to be negative 8/3. This will be 1 minus a negative 4/3 squared is going to be 16/9. And I don't care how you do this, how you clean it up. I really don't. You can do it however you want. Nobody cares. Just get it right. Isn't that the deal? We'll do it the old 5th grade way. We'll make this a 9 over a 9. That should do the job. It should. I don't know why, but I feel like I've screwed something up. I don't know. 9 minus 16 is negative 7. And still over 9. Still going to go ahead and approach this from the 5th grade point of view, since that's where we seem to be stuck. There we go. Multiplied by the reciprocal. Negative times negative is positive. What's 8 times 9? We'll just simplify later. 8 times 9 is 72. And 3 times 7 is 21. That will reduce both, and by the way, it's positive, so gone. It's A or C. 72 is divisible by 3 24 times. 21 is divisible by 3 7 times. So she was choice A. All right. 9. The sine of twice theta. There she is in all her glory. 9 is literally the sine of twice theta. And to do the sine of twice theta, I have to know the cosine ratio. So again, I need to think about where the angle lies. I need to draw a triangle in the right spot. The angle lies between 270 and 360. That's a quadrant 4 angle. Theta prime, sine ratio opposite over hypotenuse, missing legs of 3. I did that because I have to know the cosine ratio. So the cosine of theta would be 3/5. Then I just follow my little formula here. This thing should be 2 times the sine of the angle, negative 4/5, times the cosine of the angle, which is 3/5. Let's see here. What do we get? We have a denominator of 25, 5 times 5, a numerator of negative 24. Choice D. Easy one. Easy problem. 10. Find the sine of theta over 2. So I need this formula. That's what I need. The angle lies between 180 and 270 degrees. The angle is a quadrant 3 angle. The tangent ratio is given as opposite as 12 over 5, but if you just throw that on there, something's wrong. Direction matters. Missing legs of 13, do Pythagorean theorem, whatever, I don't care. Or memorize 5, 12, 13s from 10th grade year. And now you have everything you need. To do the sine of alpha over 2, you need the cosine ratio. So by looking at my triangle, the cosine of theta is negative 5/13. Now you can just plug all this crap in here. The question is it plus or minus? Remember your little acronym, all strippers take cash? I don't know if you remember it or not, but the sine ratio is negative there because only tangent and cotangent are positive. So with that in mind, it's got to be A or C. All right, back to my little formula here. I'm going to be the negative square root of 1 minus a negative 5/13 sitting over a 2. Taking away negative has been addition forever, and 1 is 13/13, so that's going to give me 8/13. And 8/13 sitting pretty over a 2, if you cut that in half, is it's all over a 2, right? Whew, I need to wake up. That's going to be 9/13, isn't it? No? Seems like it is. You multiply by a half. Anyways, we have the negative square root of 9 over 13, which is negative 3 over root 13. We clean up by multiplying top and bottom by root 13. And we get negative 3 root 13 over 13. Choice A. Number 11 is the tangent of 75. And I know jack crap about 75 degrees, but what I do know is I do know 150 degrees. Hence the half angle formula. So theta is 150 degrees, so that theta over 2 is 75. And I just need a little formula, and by God, she's right here. She's in the lower right-hand corner. You can do this or you can do that. I'm going to do this one because it has a plus sign. That's the one I'm going to do. And I'm doing a 150 degree angle, so I need the sine and cosine. So if I think about a 150 degree angle on a unit circle, I would be right here, and the ordered pair there is negative root 3 over 2 and a half. That's what I'm going to use. So the sine here is going to be a half, and again, all I'm doing is using that formula. The sine ratio there is a half, sitting over 1 plus the cosine ratio, and the cosine ratio is negative root 3 over 2. And that's what she looks like. So I change this one into a 2 over a 2. I got a half sitting pretty over 2 minus root 3, both over 2. I multiply by the reciprocal. 1/2 times 2 over 2 minus root 3 equals 1 over 2 minus root 3. I clean that up by multiplying by the conjugate. The top will become 2 plus root 3. The bottom is going to be 4 minus 3. So I'm just left with 2 plus root 3, which is choice A. Please be done with this because I've still got so much crap to do and I'm not done with it. There's a number 12. And I know jack spit about 165 degrees, but I do know that if I take that and I multiply it by 2, I get 330 degrees, and that's something I know about. So I'm going to use that little formula. I am. Now, by the way, 330 degrees is right here. And again, all strippers take cash, cosines positive. Big deal. All right. So when I use this little formula, I'm going to be using the positive root. And it says I need the cosine ratio. That's what I need. I need the cosine ratio. So if I'm at 330 degrees on a unit circle, the ordered pair should be root 3 over 2 and then negative 1/2. And since it's cosine, that's all I care about. The formula is 1 plus, so 1 plus root 3 over 2, all over at 2. 1 plus root 3 over 2 should be 2 plus root 3 over 2, all over at 2. And, man, I'm wiped. Anyways, as tired as I am, I'm just going to multiply by the reciprocal. I don't feel like doing that. This becomes root 2 plus root 3 over 4. And that 4 isn't a radical. It's a tall radical. And there's not a whole lot you can do with this. You can't evaluate this piece. So 2 plus root 3, all sitting pretty over at 2. Choice B. And that was the test you took. Full explanation. I do hope it helped. And what is it? It's Monday, so you'll do this in class tomorrow, Tuesday, and you'll take another test Wednesday. And it's 11 o'clock, and I still got Algebra 2 to do. I hope you appreciate this time I just burned. You're welcome.